Have you ever wondered what a money coach gives and asks for Christmas? Well, you'll learn today. While I love every holiday following the fall season, Christmas holds a special place in my heart. Growing up, it was a time of the year that brought so much joy, not because of the gifts, but just the energy from that time of the year. I would sit at home alone watching Christmas cartoons, just sitting next to the lit up Christmas tree, and I would feel pure bliss. As an adult, I still feel bliss sitting next to a fully lit tree. In this episode, I'm sharing what Christmas is like as a money coach, the things I give, and what I usually ask for. Now, if you are listening to this episode on the day it goes live, then Merry Christmas! What a gift that you are here with me today. And if you're listening to it after, then I hope you had a special holiday with your loved ones. Before I get into what Christmas is like as a money coach, or for me, I want to share what Christmas was like for me pre-money coach era. Now, if you know my story, then you know I was once an overspender and an overconsumer. So you can probably imagine what Christmas was like for me during those days. In childhood, I would scour the toy catalogs trying to find the things that brought excitement. I would then create two different Christmas lists, one for my mom and one for my dad, totally under the assumption that they would not discuss, right? My parents were divorced, so obviously they would talk about what they would get for my brother and I. But, little Raya was like, okay, if I give my mom a specific list and I give my dad a specific list, then I'll get double the gifts. Did not work like that. Another kind of fun story from my younger days. One year, my brother and I actually found the Christmas presents my mom bought us, and we found them in her closet. She got so upset with us. And there was so much more excitement in just looking for the gifts, right? And just knowing that maybe they're in the house and maybe we could find them. And when we found them, like the excitement totally faded. There wasn't even excitement for what the gifts were, right? It was just like, oh, we found them. And then, then the wrath of our mother was unleashed upon us. Good times. But as I got older and, started having like my own money, so really high school and up, I would put a lot of thought into the gifts that I got my family. I didn't want to just get gift cards or get them things they already had. I wanted to give unique gifts. I wanted to give gifts that they could definitely use. I would always ask my family, like, what do you want for Christmas? And make sure that I gave them what they wanted. But I also wanted to get gifts where, I put thought into them and they were things that I really thought that they could benefit from. So, that kind of transitioned to real adulthood until recently, and I'll get into that. But another thing I want to share is I actually went through a period of time where I bought gifts for everyone, not just my immediate family. It's fun thinking about the people that you care about, even if they're not super, super close to you, like your parents or your siblings. And thinking about getting them something and showing you appreciate them. So I went through a period of time where I was like just spending my money, getting friends and acquaintances little gifts here and there, putting thought into it. And even though I really didn't have the money to spend, I did it anyways. I spent it anyways, and it did leave me kind of behind. So that period of time was very short-lived. And most of the times I would give gifts and people would receive them with appreciation, but, also a little bit of mortification because it wasn't reciprocated, because it was never discussed. So that was a nice little learning lesson for me. And then getting into like my college years, I'm pretty sure I've shared this story, but unfortunately, that was like the worst of my spending because I was over 18. I had my own credit cards. I didn't have any responsibilities like bills and things like that. I was in college, so a lot of that stuff was taken care of. So any money I had that I made was mine. Any credit cards that had available limits was mine. Not realizing that, yeah, girl, you got to pay it back. But during those college years, Christmas shopping meant buying gifts for the people in my family, obviously, but also shopping for myself. It was, I just cringe saying it and admitting it, but that's just where I was mentally. The sales are great around Christmas time. So why not stock up on things I don't need for myself? Why not get my 100th pair of shoes and my, 1,000th top? Why not? So during college years, I would absolutely exceed my shopping limits for myself. I shouldn't have even been shopping for myself, but I was, along with buying gifts for others. So thankfully, I am so much better now. And in fact, I am better not just because of the changes that I've made over the years, but also because I use the City Girl Savings community. I started the Frugal Fall Savings Challenge years ago. We just wrapped up our 7th annual Frugal Fall Savings Challenge. It's a community-wide savings challenge we do, but I remember kicking that off and yes, this is going to help me. I've never but prior to that, I had never saved for Christmas gifts. It would always just creep up on me and, damn, gotta get this figured out. So leveraging the City Girl Savings community, creating that challenge has allowed me for the past 7 years to save up $500 for my holiday shopping. And while, I probably needed closer to $750, not this past year, but prior to, having a majority of what I needed already saved makes a huge, huge difference. So now let's talk about what Christmas is like as a money coach right now. So at this point in time, I really only buy gifts for my immediate family. I will sidebar and say that I do send the City Girl Savings team a little something for the holidays, but that's, through the business, but I do that. But personal wise, I only buy gifts for my immediate family. Previously, this was my mom's. This is, the first year where she's not here, so not getting her anything. But it was also my brother, still is my brother, and my boyfriend. So that's what it was before. My mom, my brother, my boyfriend. Then my uncle moved in with my mom a few years ago, so he was added to the list. My dad had passed away pre-Money Coach era, so I really, can't even count him in this discussion. But so first it was my mom, my brother, and my boyfriend. It was us 4, and I would buy gifts for them 3. Then my uncle came, so he was added to the list. And then my boyfriend's family moved to Austin right after COVID. So they were added to the list as well, but more so on a smaller scale. As I mentioned, sadly, this is the first year I didn't buy my mom anything. But, kind of a rule of thumb that we've stuck to as far as spending limits go is we try to keep it to $100 per family member. So as we've gotten older, $100 per family member is our sweet spot. Now, my boyfriend and I will, spend more on each other, just, if we're feeling it. If we're not, there's no pressure, right? If when business is good and there's extra money, we may get each other more things. And then, when times are tighter, we're just working towards a goal, we may not, right? So we always get ourselves something or get something for each other, but it really just kind of depends on the timing. And then the non-immediate family, I typically spend $25 to $50 each. So that's my uncle and my boyfriend's family. Now, as far as what that actually looks like, so for my immediate family, we always ask each other what we want. What do you want? Because we're at this point in our lives where it's look, let's just get each other what we want, what we'll need, what we'll use, and, kind of go from there. So the joy and excitement from, being little and doing that is a little different now, but, we always want to make sure that we're taking care of each other. So we want to make sure that we always ask each other what we want. And I will say, my brother sometimes is a little bit of a straggler. So if no one provides what they want, like, the group text is going on and you don't answer, you usually are going to end up with a gift card, which nobody really has issues with. Now, on occasion, I had mentioned this earlier, and I still do this to this day. If I happen to see something that just speaks to me that I think the person would truly enjoy or use, it's unique, I'll get it as an extra gift. It's just in my heart to do that. So that's what happens there. Now let's talk about what I typically ask for. So if my family is asking me what I want for Christmas, the number one thing always on the list is Starbucks gift cards. If you're listening to this, I loved my ice. I love my iced coffees. So, getting me Starbucks gift cards will never be a bad thing. In the past, I've accumulated enough Starbucks gift cards to last me through the end of February. So imagine how much this helps my budget. So Starbucks gift cards always on the list. Again, this won't be happening any longer, but I could always count on my mom to get me socks and body wash sets and the Venus razor sets. She was notorious for getting me, my brother, my boyfriend, those necessities, the body washes, the razors, the socks. Fortunately, I still have mine from last year, but it's definitely gonna, be hard not seeing those things from her anymore. But other than Starbucks gift cards, I like to ask for things that I'm specifically needing at the time. So if I know I need new workout clothes, I'll ask for gift cards to those stores. I also, if I don't need anything in particular, I like to ask for cash or gift cards that function like cash, because you'll always use that. But really, the older I get, the less I really need at Christmas time. I mean, as an adult, I have the funds to get the things that I need and want. So Christmas is really just about showing those in my immediate circle that I care about them and that we care about each other. And I will add that we do stockings. That's something that my mom started for us when we were very little, and we're just going to keep it up. So stocking stuffers are something that I do spend money on. So nothing crazy, gum, hand sanitizer, treats, candies, just little things you put in the stocking. And if and when I do have kids, I will definitely do my best to make sure Christmas is a joyous time for them like my parents did for me. So I hope you enjoyed this little Christmas holiday episode. Again, if you're listening to it on the day it goes live, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I will see you next year.